Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Ty. Today we are playing something very, very interesting. It's almost like someone took the turret from a Bismarck class battleship, gave it some legs, and gave us a fire mission. We're walking around, well, we won't get to walk, but we are a solo crew member inside what is a giant artillery piece. And you've got to do everything yourself. You have to range, you have to plot, you have to triangulate, you have to read between the lines from high command. It is only a demo, and if you would like to play this game, you do need to join the Discord and request a key, and then you can jump right in. There are 3 current modes that you can play. There's the tutorial, which is sort of like story light mode. There's this chill where you just rain shells down on everyone. And then there's the challenge mode where you have a counter battery timer that you have to work against, try and complete your objectives in that time, and you get ranked. Today we're just going to go through the tutorial initially, and I'll show you around the turret, our new home. How you going, Salem? Thanks for joining me. And those are the rules of artillery. Read. Measure, measure again, calculate, load, elevate, rotate, and fire. High command to Iron Nest, glory to Castile. Plot your firing trajectory to target on the map. Fire your choice of shell at the target. We have a reconnaissance report. We have our Iron Nest position and a few coordinates here. So we'll click here on the facts to note it on our clipboard. There's a map here that shows you all of the stations linked to our rules. So we have completed step 1 to read. We now have step 2, the map. This is our map. Press E to interact with it. This marker here is our Iron Nest position. Now, throughout the demo, I don't think you can move, or you don't think you get moved. You're always in this position here. Now, we have been given our position, which we've just seen, and we want to target the position I-533. It's already been generously marked here for us, tutorial-wise. There we go. Now, if you want to be really thorough, you would put a plot marker here to say that there is an enemy artillery piece that we need to target. Choose your red pencil, draw a line to the target, and it conveniently already works out the bearing and the distance for us. That's then added to the map, to your clipboard. Very easy stuff. There are a few little interactables here. Not sure what you would use them for. Wargaming at its finest. A unit of Space Marines. Got a map key. At the moment we don't have any intelligence, so we can't see anything on the map. We're blind firing this first shot. So now that we have the bearing and the range, we need to go to our next station. Righty, next station is over here. Some of it's covered off at the moment because we don't need it for the tutorial. But the first thing we do is have a look at the clipboard for the station. It'll tell you what to do. We need to input the distance to target, or we need to select the amount of powder charges based on that distance. So if we're shooting 7 kilometers, we want at least 1. We need at least 2 to shoot out to 10 kilometers or less, and it goes up. So you could use 6 powder charges on a very short range shot, and the elevation would be very low due to that power. And then once we've calculated that, pull the lever and it will give us a fire mission card. So our distance is 7 kilometers, 340 meters. Now don't ask me if you can change the distance scale. I only work in metric. Now it tells us here that we need to select 2 powder charges. That's a handy tutorial tip. And now that that's chosen, pull the marker. So we've been given a fire mission card. I don't think the bearing's wrong. Okay, I can't yet set the bearing. That's alright. So we come over here to the loader. And we want to select a shell. We don't want tear gas. We want to blow them up. Once we have it, hit the ram. And the computer calculated 2 charges based on the card we were given. And then we ram it in. The breach is closed. The next thing we have to do is choose the elevation based on our fire mission card. So 44.04. You can emergency stop this by grabbing the handle. Before we continue, I am going to lower the master volume so I do not get service-related deafness. Alright, we stopped it early, so we need to keep it going. While we're waiting for that, let's do a quick tour. Bit of workplace health and safety risk here. Gun at full elevation. You can jump down. So we are a twin gun turret. It honestly looks like something straight off an Admiral Hipper. I'm not sure of the caliber that we're firing. Alright, this is where we sleep. This is the opening menu. Excuse me. Right, after I've been choking all the smoke down there, what was our next thing? We were elevating the cannon, and we wanted to set it to 4404. It's a bit of a tall ask having one guy do all this work. Alright, it's set correctly. So here we come to the fire computer. The fire mission is confirmed. We have the left gun out to 7.34 kilometers, which is correct. So the ranging is right. The shell type is high explosive. I think that's what they want. That's what they're going to get. Now, the bearing. The bearing says 0 degrees, and that's not correct. I know that it's not correct. We have to change it to what we estimated. Oh, there's a faster way to do this. We want to set it out to 67.5 degrees. Hopefully that doesn't break something, but we needed to stop it. Okay, so now the bearing is confirmed. Gun is armed. And when we're ready, close your ears. Time on target, ticking down in the right. I love first-person shooters, I love strategy, I love all war games. And we have danger close there on the civilian riot. I think I probably should have used tear gas, to be honest. But that civilian riot is now dealt with. Bit of danger close to a friendly unit. And it looks like we have mail. Monstrous strike on the Mercy Ward. The official report is Anti-Monicus detonated a bomb. Totally wasn't a high explosive shell from a walking artillery piece. I love these really hands-on mechanical things. I mean, I don't know how much longevity the gameplay loop has, but for a demo, it's pretty cool. Ooh, what's this one do? I was a big fan of the U-boat game, but playing it within the U-boat itself, simulator mode, very hard. Alright, Range Master, glory to Castile. A spotter in the field has transmitted polar coordinates to target. Plot the target position, then plot a firing solution. Fire phosgene gas at the target. Glory to Castile. Iron nest position remains the same. Spotter 1 is at E8. Target is at bearing 102 from spotter 1. So you will need to use a little bit of logic here to work out what's going on. So the first thing we'll do is we'll put down a spotter card. The spotter is at E8. If you liked the game Battleships, I'm guessing you will enjoy this one too. And I'm talking about the old board game. Right, so spotter 1 is at E8, grid coordinate 83. Target 1 is bearing 102 from spotter 1. So we'll draw a plot position with a different coloured marker. (102), so we don't have a distance, so we're just going to draw it out the entire length of the map. And so we have our first coordinate so that we can triangulate our position here. The next piece of information we have is target 1 is 9.47 kilometers from spotter 1. So this here, we're drawing another plot out, 9.47 kilometers. We don't need to triangulate with this one, it's nice and easy. Both pieces of information coming from the same place. 9.47 kilometers. Sometimes you will get pieces of information from different coordinates and you have to then plot it so that you can triangulate a firing solution. In this case, it's very easy. We just draw out to that plot we made. So the bearing is 73 degrees, 13.13 kilometers. There's a anti-aircraft game like this? Really? I have to check that out too, I love it. Alright, we have our position. Now there is another tool here that you can use, and this is to help you work out friendly fire and the such. So we're going to use a was it gas? Oh, we don't have gas. I'm going to assume gas disperses really wide. We'll put that on the firing solution and we'll know what it will kill. If we choose a high explosive, an armor piercing, or a high capacity high explosive. Now we don't have any time pressure at the moment, we're all good. At the moment, an uncontested zone. The range is set, we can't set the bearing, so we'll just need to remember it. The range is significantly higher, so we're using 3 charges, and we have a fairly high elevation. Now we want the phosgene gas. Phosgene gas. Toxic choking agent. So this tells you here how many you loaded last time. It was 2. If you accidentally add too many powder charges, you need to go back to the calculation station and work out a new elevation, or you will overshoot the target. Locked for loading, so while it's doing that, let's get the bearing right. We have to go off our own notes, and it was 73 degrees. If you like big machinery, this is for you, I reckon. I like big machinery. Fire mission is confirmed. The range is confirmed. The range is not confirmed. The elevation is incorrect. So we want 52.52. And I like a turret like this usually has a lot of people in it. Pretty sure like the Iowa had like 97 people running it, although that was a triple turret. Right, elevation 5252 is set. Range confirmed. Shell type phosgene is confirmed. Bearing. We set the bearing 73, that is confirmed. Gun will be armed in 1 moment. Hold your ears. Yeah, they look like the charges that were used in like the big boy guns. But I've never actually stood next to a powder charge, so I couldn't tell you. Time to target. How did we go? Target infantry completely destroyed by the phosgene gas. You can see the flyover and a bit of downwind casualties down here. Not to matter. We don't get paid to care about that stuff. Glory to Castile. $77 to $94 crew, yeah, that's about right. And they had it, the elevators and stuff they had to manage too. Castile's mechanized wonder. Madrid, October 14, 1927. Foreign observers stunned by the Iron Nest's might. A new era of warfare. Officials declare as rival nations scramble to respond to the unveiling. Ministers vow Iron Nest project is exclusively a preemptive self-defensive measure. So talk loud and carry a big stick at the same time. Yeah, it's basically, yeah. The only thing I need now is a helm. Give me a helm and it's a dream game. Let me walk her. New dispatch. Spotters in the field have transmitted bearings to target. Triangulate the position and fire high explosive on the target. Glory to Castile. Now we've used a few high explosive shells, so let's come over to the requisition tab, punch our card. We want the right magazine. I think we have 5 shell capacity. Chuck a few more in the slot. Let's just... I jumped the gun on the tutorial. Okay. I always do that. Left magazine is more than full. We're going to need a few high explosives, so we'll take 3. And just for fun... Oh, wait, it's a tutorial. It's not going to let me go outside the bounds. We have opened up the complete fire control computer now. We need to grab the dispatch again. Still in the same position, B255. Spotter 1 is located at E767. Spotter 2 is located at N222. Let's make sure that's right. N222, yep. Target 1 is bearing 088 from spotter 1. So change to yellow. If you use the other color pencils, it doesn't get put on your clipboard. And that will become important later. Bearing 088. No distance, so we'll just go out. Spotter 2. Located, yep. Target 1 is bearing 355 from Spotter 2, so almost north. And where they intersect is where our target is. So I like to be thorough. Let's put the marker there. Change to red. We have our bearing, we have our range. Three powder charges required. Now, the target, we don't know what they are, so I will just leave it as a standard target marker. But now we can set the bearing through the fire control computer, and that will help us keep better track of our fire mission. The bearing to target was 63.8. Right, I think that's all set. Punch it in, grab the card. What you can do is you can keep these cards, and when you've finished, you can say yes, that was a success, or it wasn't, and you can put the cards on the map there to keep track of your fire missions. And I just lost it. There it is. Whew. Okay, we are not sending high explosive, are we? Are we sending high explosive? Guys, chat, you're my gun crew. What was the fire mission? Yeah, g'day Okins, it is very interesting. Sorry, I'm really focused on the procedure and I haven't really looked at chat, but welcome guys, thanks for joining me today. I think it was high explosive. That's why we had to buy more. So the fire mission card tells you how many powder charges you need in case you forget, and it's also on the right here. Alright, next up we need to ram that home. Thank you T-Master, I appreciate that support. High explosive going down. Breach is still closing. Let's bearing 63.8. So really they've got the perfect game here for co-op. I really hope it's part of the roadmap or development plan. Because this would be hella fun in co-op. Doesn't Tarkov kick everyone's butt? That gives me dangerous levels of stress, that game. Okay, the range doesn't look right, and that's because the elevation is incorrect. 50 degrees of elevation from our fire mission. Left gun is 12.5 kilometers, high explosive, bearing is confirmed at 63.8. The gun will be armed presently. You'll notice in the background that the shutters close when we fire. So I really hope we get the opportunity to walk this thing around to different positions. Maybe crush people that get in the way. Alright, shells have landed home. Were we successful? Easy fire mission there. I believe that's infantry with the cross. Yeah, it is. They had a bad day. How do you go managing the inventory without a mouse, man? That would drive me insane. Like, I used to be primarily a console player, but it's been about, I think, 6 or 7 years since I gave it a good go. Foreign observers, it's the same news clipping. Spread the message far and wide, the Iron Nest is here. We are preemptively defending ourselves. Where have we heard that kind of news before? Rangemaster to Iron Nest, glory to Castile. Find the target using impact recon photos from the battlefield. So now we have to fire shells that are going to help observers spot our shots so we can land them home. So we have to fire a star shell, an illumination shell, to inspect the impact recon's photos. Use the yellow correction markers. There will be a distance and direction from the endpoint to our target. Fire follow-up shots as needed based on the corrections. Once target is spotted, fire high explosive to eliminate it. So we're going to fire star shells until we find our target and then destroy it. Alright, so our first task, take the notes. So outside of the tutorial, the map is persistent, and so as you start firing shots, the photos stay there, and you'll start visualizing other targets that you can take as targets of opportunity. The challenge mode's a little bit stressful. I'm not a pro, and so you've got 6 minutes before counter artillery hits you. You're trying to range plot, run around, load, requisition. It's quite stressful. I like the loop. It's going to take some skill to get the procedure locked down in your head. Okay, so our first order is fire a star shell to L588. L588. Alright, our distance, 10.82 kilometers. Bearing, 72.2. We've got 3 powder charges. You do have a limited amount of powder charges, so while using 6 will give you a lower trajectory, 3, I don't know how it will play into it, but I'm assuming you will want a high trajectory to get an armor-piercing shell into an underground bunker, and perhaps, I don't know why you would want low trajectory shot, but you can do it. But you do also need to keep in mind that you have limited amount of them. Alright, we have our fire mission. We have star shells in the magazine. Let's just ram it home. So this is not early access. This is a demo. So if you want, anyone can play the demo. There's no costs or charges or whatever. I just got told by one of my Discord friends, and I jumped on the Discord, which is linked in the description. And when you get on the Discord, there's a key bot. You just click on that and it'll give you a key and you can download it and play it. It is just a demo. So this is not early access. This is not paid in any way. And it's not time limited, so you can just mess around as much as you want to. Right, the powder charge is 3. Let's ram them home. Is that right? Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, maybe we will get the opportunity to hit naval targets. That's a very good point. You most certainly want to go through the side of the belt of a ship. But then plunging fire is good too. Fire mission is confirmed. Bearing of 72.2. Elevation 43.28. So all this week we're going to be playing demos and just games that I think are cool. No one's asked me to do this. I know the next fest was last week, but I like to be slow. Yeah, I would like to see a lot of resource management, you know, fuel if you have to move. Battery power, yeah. Running silent mode. Alright, so we have fired our first star shell. And we have some correction coordinates. So it says that approximately 2.88 kilometers in this direction between these two markers. So we know that as distance increases, the cone will increase, search grid. But we've also been given an estimated position. So 2 kilometers, 2.88 kilometers. Now I play a lot of games with plotting and coordinates. So if this is like rocket science to you and you want me to explain what I'm doing, feel free to ask. Alright, so this is an estimated shot. We don't know for certain that they're there, but I'm just going to follow the grid coordinates as ordered. So 87 degree bearing, 11.27 kilometers, we'll fire another star shell and hopefully uncover our target. A good distance away from the previous shell will uncover more territory. Okay, the distance, 11.27. On your clipboard, the top coordinates are the most recent. Bearing to target, 87. We don't know what the target is. We can change the shell type. I'm not sure how much this affects the calculation. I'm wondering if different shells will have different flight characteristics at some point, but I don't think they do yet. Well, I have noticed that there are a few things around here. Where is it? Things like powder charge system pressure, storage is active, charge rammer system pressure. I'm wondering if these will eventually become a thing, because when you're playing the challenge mode, there's a counter battery timer right here, and it's ticking down. And as that ticks down, more and more steam and shit starts, like, it feels like the place is under pressure. And so, I'm wondering if there'll be then, you know, you have to do maintenance before you can fire it because the breech is jammed and oh my god, there's a powder charge in the thing. Like, that would be really fun, especially in co-op. And that's why I love showing you these games, because the potential for a great time is here. Alright, and now we are doing a really poor job of getting the thing in the thing. Alright, let's get 3 powder charges. This is why we don't let emotion take over when we're on the job. Even excitement. Alright, we set the bearing early. I know this is like jumping the gun in the procedure, but for the sake of time. Just a little bit more. I dare say it would be easier on controller for sure. And I guess it would be one of those games that I hope they're thinking about VR, because I'm sure the VR heads would love it. Firing a star shell. We're firing at 11.27 kilometers at a bearing of 87. Shell type confirmed bearing. Gun armed in 1 moment. Okay, that's interesting, T-Master. Thanks for that. So the leaking valve on the left side, you opened up all the valves on one side and it wouldn't load the shell until you closed some of them. Oh, they are interactive. Okay. Alright, so let's just open them and see if the pressure changes. Because for whatever reason, when I was doing the challenge mission, all these just started steaming and I didn't think to stop them because I was too worried about everything else. Right, all these heaps of them. Let's just break the thing. Are we going to start seeing orange? Yeah, we've got orange lights here. Okay. Well, I'll leave those on and we'll see if we can find the target. Oh, we've directly hit the target. This riot just got blinded by the sun. So we can just follow up shot with high explosive at the same range and bearing, and we're all good. We need a high explosive shell first. Actually, you know what? Let's just be glorious and do a high capacity. That's the wrong magazine again. Hey, g'day Troy. Thanks for joining us, mate. Glad to catch you live. Good to see you. You enjoying the Ground of Aces? I am heading back to that shortly because there's been quite a few updates since we played it last. Burning my skin off. It's all good. We no longer have orange lights, so maybe that wasn't an indicator of failure. Wait. There we go. We're sending this one. Oh, you want to see what it's going to do? Yeah, I can show you what it's going to do. I get you now. So you put it right on the center, make sure it's on the same shell that you've chosen, and that's what it's going to kill. Everything in that range. In fact, we could probably... It won't matter that I am firing it short because the splash damage will kill the rioters. I mean, suppress the rioters. It will make them go home. Now for this one, we don't need to change anything. 4508 on a bearing of 87. This should have been a quick follow-up shot. Ah, we have red lights. Why do we have red lights? Is it because... Oh no, it hadn't finished. Oh, I'm seeing failures in systems here. Well, we better let more steam out then. Is the pressure lower than it was? That's certainly lower than it was. I thought I hadn't clicked on things properly, but there's failures. So let's just fire it with all the steam being released. See if we can get the same gun pressure. Yeah, we went for the high capacity, guys. You gotta do it properly. We want this promotion. Ooh. So we took out the train line or the highway as well. Damn. Yeah, that's the highway. I hope it's their highway. I hope it's their highway and not ours. Oh, they're just rioters, so it's friendly territory then, isn't it? Yep. They certainly can't riot there anymore. I wonder if that letter's like, "You fool! What have you done?" The railway are overwhelmed. Public ordered to march on foot. Yes, yes. We always do it. We always do it the most efficient way. Efficient progress to promotion. Glory to Castile. 2 enemy artillery batteries are active in the area. Spotters in the field have transmitted bearings to one of them. Triangulate the position and fire high explosive on the target. Use star shells to locate the second hostile battery. Spotter 1 and Spotter 2, enemy artillery number 1 has spotted. Enemy artillery number 2 is unknown. We have both sides of the gun available now. Do we have a clock? No, good. Well, let's close these up so we can see what we're doing. So at least I know now that when these things start, I can stop them, and they were actually affecting my challenge run. Because I did feel like I was messing up big time with the switches and that, but it didn't occur to me that it was a feature. Is the pressure up again? Yeah, max pressure all around. Have we got any other loose vents? No good. Alright, so our first target is a high explosive fire mission. Spotters in the field, transmitted bearings. Use a star shell. That's not the right. New orders. Spotter 1 is located at F8, bearing 16. Spotter 2 is located at P2, 61. P2, 61. Enemy artillery is at a bearing of 099 from Spotter 1. .099. Artillery number 1 is at a bearing of 354 from Spotter 2. 354. So that gives us our estimated target of artillery piece number 1. Now I'm going to expect that the clock's going to start ticking for counter battery fire as soon as we make these hits. So in preparation for that, let's make sure this is going to be our counter battery fire tube. We've got high explosive, let's run through them. We'll use a big boy on the enemy artillery piece number 2. I don't know how far away it's going to be, so we won't load powder, but we just need to be ready for that. This side, standard HE and then a follow-up star shell. Have I done everything I need to on this side? I have. We are firing high explosive. What's the key for artillery piece? I want to try and be thorough. Artillery is a dot. Okay, our distance to target. I didn't measure that. Maybe we should do that. .3 kilometers at a bearing of 071.6. Distance out to 14.3. 3 powder charges. Keep it economical. Let's calculate that. They saw the sun first when the star shell landed, and then they saw the sun again. This time it took them to a better place. Glory to Castile. We have 20 powder charges left. See the barrels outside the hatch. Just leave the hatch open, let me see it shoot. I want to see all the smoke. Our fire mission is confirmed. We're going to work on those arms while they're in this rig. No automatic allowed. Bearing set. It's almost at max elevation. We've got 60 degrees of elevation. That's pretty substantial. That's going to get things to go where you need them. I wonder what the max range is. Probably 25, 30 kilometers. Judging by 5 kilometers per powder charge. Left gun 14.3 at a bearing of 71.6. Gun will be armed presently. I'm going to give myself real tinnitus after this stream. Yeah, medical is a target set. Yeah, I know, right? This is, remember, this is like 1920 or so. Maybe they haven't had that convention yet. Oh dear. Alright, we destroyed our target artillery piece, but now we have to find the other. And I got no usable intel from that, so we do need to just fire a star shell. Let's go here. Shit, we're taking fire. Ah. Oh damn. Like we are, that's why the vents start opening up, because we're probably taking damage. I'm actually paying attention this time. Artillery is still the same. We're firing a star shell. Our new distance is 13.96. That bearing is wrong. The stress is mounting already. Stop. Woo. That's what damages your craft, trying to stop this. When I played this for a short time yesterday, I didn't actually play with my headphones fully on, so now I'm understanding what's happening. Funny that, hey? Come on, elevation. Just a tad less. Alright, I think we're good. That barrage has subsided. Have some thinking space. Left gun, 13.96, bearing 823. This is just a star shell. Yes. And it broke the craft before it broke his arm. Oh, very, very narrow search grid here. That's good. 4.54. Why is it over here now? These spotters, they don't know what they're doing. Two more star shells. Oh, wrong magazine. God damn it, it's set to the left one. Ah, no. Magazine's full. .97. Target's the same. Bearing 69.8. Oh, not enough charges. This is a 4-charge funnel. So the lines that pop up after the star shell drops are estimated observers. It's like they're trying to spot the target in that particular region. So your shell has illuminated and the spotters have got a better bead on it. That's the theory. Alright, what do we need here? 50.9. What would I do if I had the opportunity to work in a job that makes me truly happy, or a job that is about, personal growth, wealth and all that? Well, I can tell you from experience that I chose happiness. And that's why I'm doing what I do right now with you guys, because I chose happiness. It makes life a lot harder in terms of, cost of living and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I chose happiness after choosing personal development, quote unquote, LinkedIn talk, for the better part of my career. Sorry, that's a slow reply on your question there, but there it is. Right. Philosophy under the barrage of enemy artillery, and we have spotted them, so we can just send a high explosive shell right to them there, and you know what, they can have a big one because I don't want to miss. Actually, they can have 2. A double knockout blow here. Yes, they can have 2. The first one will be high explosive, the second will be bigger. But that said, everyone's circumstances are different. And if you've struggled for most of your life and you need stability, then there's a strong consideration for the job that will develop your career. I chose happiness for other reasons as well that factored into my choice. Like, my wife is quite unwell, and she has been for a number of years, so I chose to be at home. Okay guys, we want to link this. $69.8. 69.8. Alright, which side would you like to fire first, men? Left or right? Left is high explosive. Right is high explosive, left is more high explosive. And we have a few minutes left. Left or right? Left or right? I need some orders. Why not send both? I see you are a taco man. I wanted some staggered fire, but I'm cool with both. Long flight time on these bad boys. And we indeed did rip them both. Double crater to mark their demise. The counter battery clock has stopped. We successfully suppressed 2 artillery pieces. Good work, man. We did it. Despite the pressure and the philosophy, it is definitely a tinnitus speed run. I had to turn the volume right down. What's down here? Oh, there are vents. Ooh. I thought I could hear an extra vent going. I wonder what I might do it off camera, but we'll just open all the vents in the vessel and see what happens. I hear more steam. Germany declares war. All of Europe is in arms. December 19th, 1926. Going off script there a bit, Germany. Moscow's famed mechanical ballet troupe began its continental tour. Seems like everyone has some robot goodness. It's at the end of the tutorial. Must be. Let's come back for a quick chill mission. It can't move yet. No, it can't move yet. I don't know if they plan on making it movable, but it makes sense because each mission tells you where you're located on the grid. So I'm assuming you might get to choose where you go and then it might walk there, but god damn it, give me the helm. Give me the helm. I think I've earned the helm. Maybe that's why it's only one guy, because he doesn't get to... He just has to load that shit. Turn off the vents, load it. I've got a couple of things to do here now. Reference point Alpha is at bearing 075 from spotter 1. Well, we need to find where spotter 1 is first. Is spotter 1 on the field? Yes, they are. So bearing 075 from spotter 1. Oh wait, no, these are not correct. These are from before. We need Alpha point. Okay, so it says here spotter 1. It's on a different line, that's why I didn't see it. C340. So the spotter's pretty much in front of our guns. Reference point Alpha is distance blah blah blah. Spotter 2 is at E635. Okay, so from there we need to find Alpha point, which is just a reference point for our artillery. So using the white, we want 075 from spotter 1. Okay, we can't use white, it's got no measurements. 075 from spotter 1. Reference point Alpha is 7.94 kilometers from spotter 2. 7.94. We don't have a bearing, so we just assume it's along the same bearing as the other spotter, but just a set distance. So 7.94 kilometers on this bearing line. On this plot. 7.94 kilometers. That's just a reference point. So like a landmark or strategic position. Alright, so then from there we can get rid of their lines. Target is bearing 139 from Alpha. We'll stick with yellow, otherwise it'll go on the clipboard. 139 from Alpha. Target 1 is bearing 106 from spotter 3. Oh, there's a third spotter on the field. Spotter 3 is at E6. Spotter 3 is at E695. They're very close together. And he is, the target 1 is 106 bearing from spotter 3. Grab ourselves a target pin. From there we draw a plot from the gun to the target. Start that line again. It's a bit sloppy. Now we don't know what it is that we're targeting. It's just a target. So that is target 1. Target 2 is bearing 347 from Alpha. I will try and stack up a couple of targets. 347 from Alpha. Target 2 is 11.16 kilometers from spotter 1. 11.16. grab target pin 2. Oh, it doesn't want me to grab the pin. Go away. That's target 2 plotted. Target 3 is 213 bearing and 741 from target 2. Oh, we've got a direct plot from the target. So this guy is 213. And 714. 741, my dyslexic butt. 741. That's target 3. Now from there we can plot directly to the targets. Target 1. Target 2. And finally target 3. So these, target 1 and 3, we should engage these two first, I think. Because I can set different elevations and it's only a slight change in bearing, and then we'll engage target 2 on the third shot. So the first one we'll do is 7.8. I'm just going to go by the fire mission order for the first shot. High explosive for each of them. They're all targets designated, so they get 1. We're going to trust our spotters on that. The distance for the first shot will be 15.8 kilometers. I could fire a star shell first, yes, but I don't want to provoke any... This is not tutorial anymore, by the way. I don't want to provoke any counter battery fire until we've actually successfully hit the target. 78.9, 5.81. Alright, our first card, ready. We're using too much powder for this shot, but that's okay. It'll be a very low elevation shot. So maybe I should change that actually. Alright, for shot 2 was bearing 83. But out to 12.2 kilometers. I guess you could have different amounts of powder in each barrel so that you can hit different targets along the same bearing, maybe. So if I use a lot of powder here, we might be able to keep the elevation on the second gun low to match the first gun. So let's experiment with that. See here, the elevation, by using max powder, the elevation is actually lower than the left gun to fire nearly more than twice as far. So that's, I guess, why you would want different levels of powder to try and hit more targets effectively in a faster fashion. There are scout planes you can buy. It's 20 requisition and it flies a line over the battlefield. The last time I bought one, it went in a line from here off the map. And then I was out of requisition and I uncovered nothing. So I will avoid that, if you don't mind. Alright, we need high explosive. The left barrel has This will be the 2 powder shot. Ooh, we're low on powder too. Yeah, I thought so. I thought that might be the case. I'm glad that you've been able to do it. This is a big one. Alright, 2 powder charge on the left. We need 34 degrees. First shot on the left is 78.9. $34.86. The other elevation is 24.4. We've gone way higher than we needed to. $24.4 for the second gun. This is the big boom. The biggest boom. 34.86, 24.4. Left gun's ready. Switching to the other barrel. Well done, target destroyed. That's an artillery piece. Excellent. And we've now, with the scouting after the damage report, we've now uncovered a whole heap of new targets. This one here is an underground target, needs armor piercing, or it's a covered target. I believe that's what it means. The second target was destroyed, and there was a little bit of collateral damage here in the form of an infantry unit moving. So what we'll do, we'll put this here, we'll say that that was a perfect hit. That is not that one. This one here, that was also first shot and a kill. Now we need to be careful here that we have allied infantry. So if you were to use like a high capacity on it, it's going to blow them to hell. Even a high explosive would probably kill them. So you would then move it so that the target's still in the blast radius, but they are not. That's my best estimation of why you would use that tool. We need to now hit target 2. Almost the same range, that's great. Just a way different bearing. So we want 53 on the bearing. No counter battery, it's good. Too many powder charges again. That's a heap of marshmallow. We got 15 left in the craft. I messed it up. I messed it up. Not enough powder. Shit. So we've only got 2 powder charges on that round. Rather than waste it, let's find ourselves a secondary target that will able to reach with 2 powder charges. That's that target there, the infantry. So the only way you can get it out, as far as I'm aware, is to shoot it out the other end. So don't waste it. If you have the time, redesignate a target. The bearing to this target is 70.8. And we know we're going for infantry this time, so let's designate it properly. Okay. Doesn't want to. Too late. So this is the new card for the shell that's already loaded in the left gun. These shells are the type of thing that you don't want them back. So they're on a one-way trip. Elevation 3294, bearing is now 70.8. Sorry about the ads, guys. I do have them set to minimal. I know they're a pain. Ready? Oh, I pulled it too fast. Story of my life. Let's see if this redesignated target is a success. Infantry destroyed with a high explosive shell. No casualties on our side. Next up, 12.17 and 53 degrees. And I already have that set. We just need some high explosive in the magazine. And a star shell too for good luck. Ah! Don't leave your hatches open. That's against SOP. Broken legs and no one to help me. One thing I found though is that if it's running lots of ads, it means that YouTube thinks the stream's going well, so it's a bit of a catch-22. Alright, we have the... I did it again. I loaded 2 powder charges because I keep reading how much I loaded last time. So we've just messed that up again. Those people at the third target don't know how lucky they are right now. Incompetent gun crew. Only myself to blame. Oh, Amazon. I'm so pissed at Amazon. So now you have to buy the premium to get the premium without ads. And then you still get ads when you watch a movie anyway. Like, what the f, guys? So I need to keep in mind that the left gun still has a 2 powder charge high explosive in it. We need to find another target for that as well. I really think you'll enjoy it there, Wintertown man, even if it's just for the afternoon. It's a demo, so free to play. I'm always too hard on my levers. Alright, 53-degree bearing. We're taking out target 2. They have survived long enough. So the right gun is ranged out to 12.26. I think that's right. We've lost our card. High explosives in the tube. Bearing is confirmed at 53 degrees. Right gun armed. Take it easy, Troy. Thanks for joining me, mate. I know that my streams do run outside your time zone, but I appreciate your support, bud. Yeah, it's a 50-50 split for me. I think I'm pretty lucky to get that. And now we need to find a target here for our second barrel. Confirmed kill on that one. We need to find one that's within 10 kilometers of us. So we will take out... we can't do it with high explosive. Let's do it here. This will be a danger close mission, so it'll give us an excuse to use this tool. If we hit them center, we risk killing friendly infantry. So we need to put it behind them. It's going to hit the major highway here, but at least the infantry will survive. Right, 83 degrees. .29 kilometers. It's not letting me change the target. Alright. 83 degrees. So if I've worked this out correctly, we should not kill that other infantry. Right, we've got a 2 powder charge high explosive shell in the barrel. We need to hit 31.74 degrees elevation. .74, 83.6 bearing. Need to double check we get this right, because if we're off target at all, they die. Our friendlies die. We'll finally get this left gun fired. Yep, danger close mission was successful. Let's try and hit this underground one with an armor-piercing shell. Armor-piercing shell, 86.7, 6.86. We want high angle as possible. Jumping the gun, literally. Bearing of 86.7. We need armor-piercing shell, don't we? Let's go and buy one. Let's buy one for each. What? Okay, I guess we'll buy one for each. For some reason, the calculator's not able to change the target at the moment. I'm not sure why. But yes, normally I would set that so that it says on the card which shell we're using. .7 for the bearing. Bearing locked. I thought it might as well. I'm not sure if the flight characteristics of this shell are the same as a high explosive. I doubt they are. But I'm not sure how much they've implemented into the game in terms of that sort of thing. 41.16 on the elevation. Range is confirmed. Left gun armed. Send it! Yeah, so do I. I hope that there's ballistics and that sort of stuff to affect where you're landing. Even wind. Oh, direct hit here. Excellent. Fire director taken out through their bunker. We have some requisition, so let's spend it on a scout plane and I'll show you. It's not super exciting. Oh, you can you choose where they go? Oh, you can. Alright, well that would explain why my guy was just flying off the edge of the map. Where do we want them? Let's say we want them to look at R3 as far range as possible. I don't remember seeing this before. I honestly don't. Maybe I didn't hang around long enough for the hatch to open. R7 is where we're going to aim for. I'm not going to lie, it sounds like a Huey. Thanks for your help, Bosun. That really helps. Alright, so we got pretty decent intel here. Yeah, this is what we're going to do. We're going to nail this place with gas, if I've got it, and then AP here. Nice double shot. Oh, we got some, I think we got a dispatch. Oh, we already did that. So these shots are pretty close together. One will be AP, one will be gas, or high capacity if I have it. See, it's a little bit disorientating, right? Because it says left magazine, and instinctively you think left is the gun behind you, or at least that's how I think. So I've been loading the wrong magazine the whole time. The left magazine is actually over there. I don't know why there's two switches, but there is. And then for the right magazine, the one behind us, I want a high capacity. Yes, okay, good. And let's just send them as many powders as we can. We're going to send them hard. Alright. First bearing is at 80 degrees. The range is 16.6. Can't change the designation. Bearing is 80. Shell type. Which one is which? We need to make note of that. So the soft target's on 80 degrees. The hard target's on 81. Alright, AP is in the left gun. Okay, this one's the high capacity HE. I see. So we'll fire the high explosive first, and then follow up with the armor piercing through the bunker, so that they don't have a chance to scatter. Oh, we could link. It's the same elevation for both shots, just slightly different change. That makes it easier. Fire mission is confirmed. Range is confirmed. No, I have made a critical error here. The second shot is not ranged properly. The second shot needs to go further. I was wondering, the elevation can't be the same for two targets at a separate distance. Yeah, so we have a new elevation. And the left gun was AP, so that's the one that needs to go further. 33.4. Alright. Correction. This is why we have a checklist, guys. Checklists are good. I love checklists. Everything's loaded. Now, the bearing. We are firing the high explosive, high capacity first. 32.32. It's in the right gun. Left gun needs a slight change to bearing. High capacity, high explosive has landed and taken out 3 targets. Artillery, infantry, and possibly mechanized. AP round is still in the air. And their fire director has been taken out. Well, guys, that is Iron Nest, Heavy Turret Simulator. There's not a huge amount to do while you're once you know what to do. There's the gameplay loop, that's it. The challenge mode is when you have someone ready to shoot back at you and you can get here on the high levels. I didn't do too well in the challenge because I did it first and I hit a few targets, but then we died. So give it a shot, guys, but you do have to join the Discord quickly to grab the key. It's just an automated system. I guess that's just so they can keep track of how many are going out, etc. If you like the video, guys, please give me a thumbs up, and we will see you in the next stream. All of this week I'm going to be covering cool little games that I think have some potential, and I hope you enjoy that format. We'll see you in the next one, dudes.